One man is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet whom millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
Trump, everybody they know, they gonna vote for Donald Trump, that's the way it goes. All over America, all over the USA, they voted for Donald Trump, that's what I'm trying to say. Election is over, everyone can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country. Election is over, everyone can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country. I want to make America great again.
Woo!
I want to lower the taxes. I want to bring all American business back from overseas back to the USA, baby.
There we go.
Ooh, yeah, Donald Trump is now the president of your country. Election is over, everybody can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country. Election is over, everyone can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country.
Welcome to the Friday edition of the Trump Daily Briefing. Thank you guys all for showing up. I want to thank all you guys who participated in our prayer night last night and then the absolute real late night broadcast. We went live at about 10:30, 11, stayed here until about 12:30, and we were covering all kinds of things, all kinds of news that was hitting. Those of you who weren't here last night, let me just bring you up to speed in case you haven't had the opportunity to actually find out as of yet. But Trump did make a number of appointments, and those appointments included, let me go ahead and pull them up for you as we go through them. Just to recap for those of you who weren't here, he did Todd Blanche, is going to be his deputy attorney general. So he's going to be working under Matt Gaetz once Matt Gaetz in the office. Todd Blanche was his attorney that worked with him up in New York against Judge Merchan. The next thing he did was bring in Dean John Sauer, who will serve as his Solicitor General of the United States. Solicitor General, basically the guy who brings and makes the arguments to the Supreme Court. The guy was key in getting the immunity thing pushed through the Supreme Court So Trump is, as I said last night, is putting his legal team together, a strong legal team, a legal team that understands how to put cases and defend cases at the Supreme Court. So that's a huge one. In addition, he named Doug Collins as United States Secretary for Veterans Affairs. Any of you who have family members or friends that are, vets know how bad the Veterans Administration has been. Hopefully Doug Collins can get in there and straighten that out. And then last night, he actually announced it, but he didn't post it until, he posted it 5 minutes ago, but everybody knew because he said it last night. He says, I am thrilled to announce that Doug Burgum, the governor of North Dakota, will be joining my administration as both the Secretary of the Interior and as chairman of the newly formed and very important National Energy Council, which will consist of all departments and agencies involved in the permitting, this is important, the permitting, production, generation, distribution, regulation, transportation of, in large letters, all forms of American energy. This council will oversee the path to U.S. energy dominance by cutting red tape, enhancing private sector investments across all sectors of the economy, and by focusing on, in large letters again, innovation over long-standing and totally unnecessary regulation. With U.S. energy dominance, we will drive down inflation with the AI arms race with China and expand American diplomatic power to end wars all across the world, i.e., if you got more money and you have the oil, you can probably get some people to back off what they're doing. The radical left's war on American energy has hurt our allies and us by forcing them to buy from adversaries who in turn use these profits to fund wars. Energy dominance will allow us to sell energy to our friends, including all European nations, which will make the world a safer place. As chairman of the National Energy Council, Doug will have a seat on the National Security Council. So he is putting energy in conjunction with security. Smart move. As Secretary of the Interior, Doug will be a key leader in ushering in a new golden age of American prosperity and world peace. The Biden-Harris administration has driven our national debt to a record $36 trillion, yet America is blessed with vast amounts of liquid gold and other valuable minerals and resources right beneath our feet. We will drill, baby, drill, expand all forms of energy production to grow our economy and create good-paying jobs. By smartly utilizing our amazing national assets and resources, we will preserve and protect our most beautiful places and reduce our deficits and our debt. He didn't say all that last night. Last night he said, this guy Doug Burgum, we're going to make him this. He left out all that, and now we know why. By the way, did you hear on literally any of the news, if you watch news, did you hear any of them talking about what he just said there? I watch the news so you don't have to. That's pretty much going to be my slogan. I watch the news so you don't have to. And I can tell you, I searched around a lot, and none of them were talking about energy dominance and being able to drill and make the American economy more prosperous. There was a little snippet on CNN where one of them tried to catch Scott Jennings and put him into the corner. And he's like, hey, Scott, so you keep talking about what Trump's going to do. Tell me how he's going to lower inflation. And Scott said to the guy, well, one of the things he's going to drill and we're going to get more oil. Yeah, but how's that fix the economy? How's that fix inflation? And the same way I would have looked at him is what Scott looked at him and said, you're kidding, right? I know you have your talking points and you're supposed to say this to appear a certain way, but you do know how this works, don't you? And I just wondered when he said that to the guy, seeing what I've seen over the last 10 days, perhaps the guy didn't. I think maybe Scott may have given him too much credit, thinking that these people understand how energy fuels the economy and helps with national security. I don't think they know that. So when he was talking to the guy, I was thinking to myself, Scott, I think you're giving him too much credit. I mean, he was stupid enough to ask that question, but he may have been telling you the truth. He may not have known. He may not have had anybody in the Biden or Harris administration, anybody else in the media say, listen, if we drill and get more oil, okay, what's going to happen? Ooh, the cost of goods come down. How does that happen? Well, immediately, right off the top, if it's cheaper to move goods, never mind all the production, if it's just cheaper to deliver goods, because now the truckers and everybody else can move supplies easier, cheaper, truckers can save on their gas, then the prices that are up here would begin to fall. And I'm not even talking yet coming back the chain, going back up that supply chain and going, oh, but besides that, it's going to be cheaper to basically move grain for the cows that need to eat. You know, they got big bushels of wheat and stuff or whatever. Hey, I don't even know what you feed a cow. I'm sorry. But whatever that is, you got to move that too. Oh, and then you got to take the cows. If you're not a slaughterer, you got to take the cows somewhere to have them, you know, dealt with. Oh, there might be some regulation that's causing that to be a problem. How do you think that stuff gets in Target? Forget your groceries. How does it get in Walmart? How does it get around? How does wood get to the job site? How does the wood get chopped down? What tools do they use to chop the wood and then take the lumber to the process? It all depends on energy. All of it. It starts, I wouldn't say starts there because it starts all the way back into production. But in order to lower the prices of inflation, it's really simple. I mean, you really don't even need an economics degree to understand this. And for the last 4 years, they've acted like oil doesn't mean anything. I've always thought it was intentional, that these people were nuts, that we're sitting on all these oil reserves and we can do so much, and you choosing not to because you have this communist Marxist attitude of helping these other countries while draining us and draining the petroleum reserves. But maybe they were just stupid. Maybe they just didn't want to listen. Maybe collectively they were a bunch of morons. At this point, I don't know. I used to think I had a handle on this. I used to think, oh, these people are devious. Oh, man, it's sinister what they're doing. Because everything led to me thinking they've got to be intelligent. They got to know what the hell they're doing. Maybe they are just flipping stupid. I mean, we saw Tim Waltz, and we saw Kamala. What the hell? I don't know. But thank God, Daddy's home and he's pissed as hell. He's about to fix it. And he's fixing it so bad that what I'm going to show you today is a linear progression of building insanity. But it culminates with something that RFK Jr. said last night. Or actually, he said it during his campaign when he was running for president. I showed it last night. But now I'm seeing a whole lot of craziness going on with the media. I mean, seriously craziness. And last night, I think Trump fueled it even further. So last night they had this gala event at Mar-a-Lago, and it was star-studded America First event, and all the normal suspects were there, plus a couple others. Sylvester Stallone spoke. We're going to show that in a second. And then Javier Milei from Argentina, who's basically turned his country around, he was actually doing the Trump dance. And of course, you can't get rid of Elon. Elon was with him as well. In fact, Trump joked about it and goes, this guy won't leave, which means he doesn't want him to leave. So let's just be smart with it. So the Avengers were there last night. They were there in full force down here in Palm Beach County. So let's just go to the videotape and begin taking a look at what transpired last night. Just a couple things for you to take a look at.
When I did Rocky, if you remember, the first image was a picture of Jesus. It says Resurrection AC Club. I found a church that had been converted to a boxing ring. So the image pans down from Jesus onto Rocky being hit. And at that moment, he was a chosen person, and that's how I began the journey. Something was going to happen. This man was going to go through a metamorphosis and change lives, just like President Trump. We are in the presence of a really mythical character. I love mythology. And this individual does not exist on this planet. Nobody in the world could have pulled off what he pulled off, so I'm in awe. And I'll just say this, and I mean it. When George Washington defended his country, he had no idea that he was going to change the world. Because without him, you can imagine what the world would look like. Guess what? We got the second George Washington. Congratulations!
Relax. We have a man who has a seriously high IQ. You know, I'm a person that believes in high IQs, and his is about as high as they get. He launched a rocket 3 weeks ago, and then he went to Pennsylvania to campaign because he considered this more important than launching rockets that cost billions of dollars. Elon Musk. Elon. What a job. What a job he does. He's a great, and he happens to be a really good guy. You know, he likes this place. I can't get him out of here. He just likes this place. And you know what? I like having him here, too. He's good. He's done a fantastic job. Really an incredible mind, and he's an unbelievable entrepreneur, sort of everything. I'm asking him, what do you do best? And we were not able to figure it out, but it's a lot of things.
So, those of you who don't know, we kind of joked about it last night. We joked about the fact that Elon is everywhere that Trump is. Everywhere. Except he wasn't in New York meeting with Iranians. He let Elon go to New York City, up to the United Nations ambassador of Iran, to talk about, you know, chilling. Y'all need to stop fighting. And I found it extremely interesting that Marco Rubio is the incoming Secretary of State, and Elon Musk was the guy who flew up to New York to meet with the Iranians and then came back to this gala that they were having in Mar-a-Lago. Very interesting. Very interesting. So let's listen to what Vivek Ramaswamy has to say.
Last Tuesday was not the destination, it was the start line for the revival of this country. The cabinet picks this week, you know what, Donald Trump wasn't afraid in putting Tom Homan and Kristi Noem in charge of the mass deportations of millions of illegals for this country. But I also want to thank him for making sure that Elon Musk and I are in a position to start the mass deportations of millions of unelected federal bureaucrats out of the D.C. bureaucracy. That, too, is how we're going to save this country. And I don't know if you've got to know Elon yet, but he doesn't bring a chisel, he brings a chainsaw, and we're going to be taking it to that bureaucracy. It's going to be a lot of fun. But I do want to say this, is that we've been taught to believe over the last 4 years that we have become a nation in decline, that we're at the end of the ancient Roman Empire. All we have is to fight over the scraps of some shrinking pie. I don't think we have to stay that nation in decline. I think with what happened last week, we're back to being a nation in our ascent, a nation whose best days are actually still ahead of us. I couldn't tell you last year that it was morning in America. It's not. It's not yet, but on January 20th, it is going to be morning in America, the start of a new dawn, the start of a country where our kids are going to grow up and we're going to tell them and mean it that you get ahead in the United States again with your own hard work and commitment and dedication, that you're free to speak your mind at every step of the way, that the best person gets the job regardless of their skin color. I think most of us agree on it. The next 4 years, it's just the beginning. It's not the end of the chapter, it's the beginning. And I think the work that's going on here at AFBI sets the course not just for the next 4 years, but for the next 250. And so what I will say is when we send Donald J. Trump back to the White House on January 20th, That is just the beginning of our best days as a nation, still yet ahead of us. Thank you all for supporting the mission here. Thank you all for your love of this country. Do not stop fighting until we get this job done. And 4 years from now, we're going to say not make America great again, but keep making America greater. Thank you all. God bless you and your families. Let's enjoy the celebration, and may our best days be ahead. Thank you.
If you are Donald Trump...
So, what I found interesting about that event last night, and why I wanted to show it to people who may not have seen it, is that this gala event was for the benefit of two initiatives. The America First Policy Initiative, AFPI, and America First, or America First Works. You haven't heard much of that. Everyone was talking about Project 2025, and everybody was out there screaming about what Trump was going to do. And what I found interesting, what Vivek just said there, and I think a lot of people need to really hone in on this. This is really important. As he mentioned, this is just the beginning. So knowing the kind of guy that Trump is, and what I've seen and what I've known of him in history, in terms of especially in New York, and how he plays his chess match, Trump isn't looking to be president on January 20th through, the next 4 years. When you're a real estate developer, many of you may not have ever been in real estate development, maybe never have really looked at property as an investment, but you don't look at that plot of land and say, you know what, I think a skyscraper, I think a house, a duplex, would look good here. That would be the surest way for you to go broke. You see, when you look at doing any kind of actual development, there's a lot more that goes into it. What are the plans for ingress, egress? What the highway system look like? What's going to be built over here? Where are they looking at taking this thing in 10 years? Where are the schools? Where are the closest schools? As I began looking at real estate in Boca, I had to learn something I never learned. When you buy houses in certain areas that will basically appeal to a heavily Jewish population, you better make sure that the house or development that you're looking to build, buy, renovate is close to a temple or a synagogue. I'm Christian. I never knew this. I knew that obviously Jews celebrate the Sabbath on Saturday or Friday at sundown, today at sundown. But I did not know that they needed to live within walking distance of the synagogue because they can't use vehicles, during the Sabbath. And I was like, what? How did I not know this? That's why you didn't attract many Jewish buyers. That's why the houses within walking distance of a synagogue are more expensive. They have to walk. And every, Saturday morning when Rob and I get up, we're out there washing cars, whatever we're doing, and it's a procession up and down the road. The kids, the father, the family, the mom, they're all walking to the synagogue. And I went, now I understand. You need to have a house close to where you worship, because it's not like us. We don't just hop in the car and drive 15 minutes if we want to get to a church that we want to go to. So when you're making a development, depending on what you're going to do in this development, whether it's a high-rise and air rights and all kinds of different things, it's much more than looking at the plot of land and saying, if I buy this piece of land, I could probably do X, Y, and Z. No, there's a whole lot more that goes into it. Where's the closest supermarket? Everything. So Trump, coming from a real estate developer mindset, understands, okay, here's my presidency. This is what we could do here. But what he, because of his experience, is doing is, I need to make sure I know what's happening in 2028, 2030. Where are we going with this? Who's going to take up the mantle and run with it? Look at his personal business. He knows eventually the one thing money can't buy is more time on this earth. We all have that born on date, and someone somewhere knows the expiration. And he knew, hey, listen, number one, I'm going to build something of substance here. We're going to make a lot of money. And when I'm gone, I want to turn that over to people I trust, who I can teach and tell them, here's what you need to do. Here's how you'll do it. You're going to be set. And then your kids and my grandkids, everybody will be set. Hence, Eric, Don Jr., Ivanka, Laura Trump, they now know if for some reason Dad moves on, this business is going to continue in the way that he set it up for years to come. Years. The kids we saw in the video with the grandkids, should they want to, they're going to be able to step in. Real estate ain't going nowhere. As Will Rogers once aptly said, they ain't making any more of it. What you see, that's it. So someone's going to have to develop something 20 years from now. If they want more houses in my neighborhood, they're going to have to get zoning clearances, and you know, you get what I'm saying. So when I hear people like Vivek saying, we're setting this up for the future, this is what we're looking to do, notice he didn't mention anything about Democrats. You see, for the last 10 days, all the Democrats have been doing is screaming, whining, talking about this person's bad and that person's bad, while Trump and his team are making moves to cement things for decades to come, should they be that successful, where the Democrats are irrelevant. I never want to worry about my opponent. I never want to look over my shoulder and wonder what my opponent is doing. I want to make sure that I am as successful as possible so that my opponent can't ever catch up. We are in a situation right now in America when Vivek and other people have said our best days are ahead. Our best days are ahead is if you're focusing on your best days. Not these idiots. Don't let them basically take your, if you're not looking like this, don't let someone else take your attention away. You're going to focus right here. Elon, you're going to do this. Bobby, you're going to do this. Bing, bing, bada boom, bada boom. Y'all going to go do all this. Don't even look at these morons. Don't even pay attention to them. And that's what Trump is doing at this point. I have been so, how can I say, impressed with how he's rolling things out. And if you guys know what to look for, you can see the impressiveness of what he's doing. Because he'll name XYZ person. He named Kristi Noem. He named Mark Rubio. He named Pete Hegseth. He named Matt Gaetz. Did he make any, retort with the media? Did he come out and say, no, you guys can't be complaining about Matt Gaetz because, he's the guy? No, I don't care what you have to say. This is my guy. This is my woman. This is what we're doing. And your opinion on MSNBC doesn't mean squat. You guys go ahead and get mired in this. You guys figure out what you're going to do to counteract everything I'm doing. That tells me really, really easy, I'm winning. See, you're not presenting anything to your people. You're not showing anyone on the left that you have any ability to actually look towards the future. You see, right now, they should be licking their wounds, wrapping up like a boxer or a football player, wrap your knuckles and go, okay, what do we need to do in 2026? All right, so I think you should be the next candidate, and here's your platform, and here's what you might want to do. Are you hearing any of that? No. They're still focused on Trump, January 6th. Oh my God, what are we going to do about this? Oh, and how are we going to do it? And racist Hitler. I want that. I want my competitors still focusing on the loss that I torched them with 2 weeks ago, 10 days. The longer you guys sit here and whine about the loss and run to MSNBC, the longer I can keep you doing that and roll out my picks and then see you scream again, the longer I know I have to just get that farther ahead of you. if you're on a highway and someone pulls over and you guys are riding together and they keep pulling over to go pee or get something to eat, you just keep going. I got a cell phone. If you need me, let me know how you doing. But we're heading to our destination. I got to get where I'm going. Y'all can keep pulling over and taking pictures and TikToking, whatever you want to do. I'm heading up the highway. That is what's happening right now in our political environment. The Democrats have no answer. They don't have any bench. They don't have any idea what's going on. And all they're doing is complaining, and they're complaining to an audience who already lost. See, that's the important part that you have to understand and grasp, is that us, you, everyone watching this video, except for the trolls, we're already winning. They can't stop him. And so it's like they're having this ongoing pity party over and over and over. And every single part of what they say is nothing but a reaction to something Trump is doing. If you're spending all your time reacting to your opponent, you're not developing any skills to take your opponent down. There's usually 1 or 2 days of film when you're watching a game. Then you got to get your plan together. Okay, so yeah, this is what I did wrong. Okay, rewind it. Yeah, this is what I did wrong. This is what I did right. That's me. Now let's go look at my next opponent. Oh, this is what they're going to do to me. This is how they're going to do it. And then after you've had those 2 film sessions, or whatever film sessions you want to have on your own, it's all about what are we going to do this Sunday. There is not an NFL team in the league right now who's playing on Sunday afternoon who's worried about the loss last week. It's just not something that smart people and successful people do. You just can't do that. And I don't care if it was the NFL or any college team. You're getting ready to play tomorrow. Tomorrow's Saturday for college and Sunday for the NFL. Whether you won or you lost last week, that's important. Whether you won or you lost, you're not looking back at that game you played last week and still worrying about it when you take the field Saturday and Sunday. Every single one of these media outlets is talking about the game they lost last week, or rather at this point, 10 days ago, and none of them are focusing on, so what do we need to do to make ourselves better? Do we need to get in the gym? Do we need to run more? Do we need to, make sure we understand that this strategy didn't work? What do we need to do to get better? Nope, they're still crying about the loss. And meanwhile, Trump now has had 10 days of steam behind him, and every single day he's taking people's eyes off of what he's doing next. The reason I'm saying all this is I mentioned to you that nothing was being said about Doug Burgum today. They're still worried about Tulsi Gabbard and Matt Gaetz. Do you guys see what this guy's doing here? Kristi Noem might have been a ghost. Nobody's even talking about her. It's amazing. She just went across their eyes. Nothing. She's definitely in. She's in. Marco Rubio, not saying anything about him. He's in. Doug Burgum, not saying anything about him. They're focusing, Matt Gaetz. Listen to what Megyn Kelly had to say about that and why it's such a good pick by Trump.
And your chosen attorney general has turned you over to Robert Mueller, who then ruined your first term as president with a bunch of bullshit. Then you leave office and the next guy's attorney general is behind not 1, but 2 criminal prosecutions of you, and his DOJ is cooperating with not 1, but 2 state prosecutions of you in a bridge that's never been crossed in our 250-year history as a nation. Then I, too, might prize loyalty to me above all other qualities and go with a guy like Matt Gaetz. Who can blame Trump for trying to pick the most loyal soldier he can find for this position?
Let's start at the...
Now, have you noticed over the past a couple years or so, the media has tried to use loyalty as a bad thing? I never understood that. I know when I hire people, I want the people who are loyal to me and my business. This is a different kind of business that doesn't need that kind of many employees, but the one who I wouldn't even call her employee, I would call her basically a new partner, is Ashley, my daughter. And when I do need some other things, Robin can help. I want the people closest to me to be the ones guarding the business, making sure things are okay, helping out and everything else. Of course, the mods are family too, but you understand what I'm saying. And they act as though loyalty is a bad thing. Trump's from New York. Y'all know what goes on in New York. Whether it's, Little Italy, whether it's Hell's Kitchen, whether it's Harlem. These diasporas, Chinatown, do you think they just let somebody waltz in to what their business is and says, hey, I'd like to come in. You don't need loyalty. And I'm not saying Trump is running a mob, but what I'm saying is loyalty is a strong suit. And it seems like everything in our ideology, the left has tried to tear down and make it bad. Oh, he wants people that swear an oath of loyalty. I don't need somebody to swear an oath of loyalty. Trump doesn't need somebody to swear an oath of loyalty. You know if someone's loyal to you or not, because you've earned it. And that's what the left doesn't have. The left doesn't have the ability to say, this person is loyal to me, because they don't earn it. When Trump got in the presidency in 2016, he didn't have any people that were loyal to him. He took advice from different people, and we saw what happened. Mike Pence, he wasn't loyal. Jeff Sessions, he wasn't loyal. Steve Bannon was loyal. You see, when you have to know when the shit hits the fan, this person is with you no matter what. Hey, Steve, if you turn on Trump and tell me some stuff, you won't have to go to jail. Go screw yourself. Go screw yourself. I'm not turning on anybody, even if I had something to say. Go screw yourself. Hey, Peter Navarro, we got this. Can you turn on him? No, the weak people who really didn't have anything, which is why there's no cases, like, what's her name, Cassidy Hutchinson. You didn't have nothing. You made stuff up. Hey, look, can you give us some dirt on Trump so we can use it against him? You didn't have anything because you were never in the inner circle. That's the problem with this lawfare and everything they've had. They've had outsiders who thought they were on the inner circle, who were able to go in and make up testimony and say crap, but the actual people that he kept close, nothing. Remember during the New York trial, there was one guy, I don't remember his name, but he was like the Trump Organization accountant, the guy who actually did all the bookkeeping. They couldn't even call him. They couldn't bring him in as a witness. He was in jail at Rikers Island. Not saying a word. You're not going to get me to turn on the boss. And now Trump has built an entire organization thus far, hopefully, of people who understand what the boss is going to do this time. People who have shown to be people incredible that they can trust. And the media can't take it, and the Democrats can't do anything about it.
First possible place for Matt Gaetz. There was this inquiry that was going to be released into how bad he is on Friday. That's why he had to quit right away. That's why it happened. Can you address that?
Well, who better to take on the weaponization of the government than somebody who's had the government weaponized against them? I mean, this is what I call touching the red wire to the black wire. If you've ever jumped a car with jumper cables, you don't put them together. It's going to melt the insulation off the place over there. And if anybody knows how to fix it, it's Matt Gaetz, how to fix the DOJ.
Why do you say that? Because most people know him just as a bomb thrower.
Well, because he served on the committee, the Judiciary Committee, that Jim Jordan chairs and I serve on as well. And we have sat there, I don't know how many times, and heard Merrick Garland try to say, when we ask a question, I'm sorry, that's the subject of an ongoing investigation, and it's our longstanding policy not to comment. That's bullcrap. And I told Matt I expect to never hear that answer from him when he comes in front of me. I am looking forward, Glenn, this is my dream, to cross-examining Matt Gaetz in the hot seat there in front of Judiciary.
And have him not say what Merrick Garland said.
Right. I can imagine saying, hey, where are those documents that we asked for? Matt would probably reach under the table and say, here are those documents.
Right. So tell me, because I don't think this is, the left is saying, oh, this is revenge. He's going to go on a scorched earth. He's going to go after all his enemies. No, I think, like with Tulsi Gabbard, he's appointing people who have direct experience of the weaponization of government in that role. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Look, the DOJ was weaponized against teachers at school board meetings, right? Matt Gaetz, it's not revenge to say we're not going to go after parents at school board meetings,
or to fire those people that were responsible for that.
Correct, or to go after whistleblowers, for instance.
Yeah.
It's not revenge to say we're going to set things right. There's nobody that's being targeted. I am certain there's some people going to be cleaning their desks when Matt Gaetz takes over. Some of them will be given the notice, and some of them will be trying to get out of Dodge before the new sheriff gets to town. So,
Thomas, is he a kind of guy that is well thought out and well planned? Because he has to move in on inauguration day and lay down the law quickly. He's got to take that bull by the horns day one.
And Glenn Beck right here is talking to House Representative Thomas Massey. Thomas Massey, who's a bit of a firebrand in his own right, is talking about how Matt Gaetz is the perfect person for Donald Trump to bring in as the Attorney General. You effed around with him, now you get to find out, which is probably why these people are terrified. You see, it was easy to bring in these other people who weren't affected. This is someone who was personally affected by what the Department of Justice tried to do to him. And it just seems to be the regular playbook that at this point, everybody, him too, her too, Matt Gaetz is getting the same treatment that Judge Kavanaugh got. Hey, when you were in high school and you were 19, didn't you do this and do this? What? This thing with Matt Gaetz is from 2017. It was already investigated. And then lo and behold, now they're saying, hey, Pete Hegseth was somebody who was investigated as well. I mean, it's just a tired playbook. It is so tired. Every single guy who you don't like, you find someone to say, hey, listen, they were accused of. What the hell does that mean? What does it accused of mean? But now they're saying Pete Hegseth was once accused back in 2016 of, doing some untoward stuff to women. So only now? So you mean just when he gets named the Secretary of Defense, only now does it come out that Pete Hegseth might have been a bad boy? Wow, you guys have some impeccable timing. It's unbelievable. When Judge Kavanaugh was going through, somehow you found something he did in high school, allegedly, with a woman who couldn't remember she was even there. When did it happen? Where did it happen? How did it? I don't know. What are we even talking about? It's insane how these people act.
And I don't always agree with Matt Gaetz, but he is one of the smartest guys up here. You can tell that from his wit. But, when we question people in the Judiciary Committee, it's usually his questions that are the most pertinent. He knows the right questions to ask. When he gets to DOJ, he's going to know which rocks to turn over, which.
That's what they're afraid of. See, it was easy to control somebody like Jeff Sessions. Jeff may have known where the rocks were. Understand that. A lot of people know which rocks to turn over. But some of the weak people, don't turn that one over. You know what's under there, don't you? Yeah, let's not look there. But there's a whole bunch of nastiness right under that one rock. Nah, we're not going to look there. We're just going to pretend that rock's got moss on it, and we're just going to leave it alone. Whereas Matt Gaetz is like, that rock's got crap under it, and that rock's got crap under it. Oh, he knows what's underneath all those rocks to turn them over. But he's got the willingness to turn them over. That's the difference. That's why the Democrats are all freaking out. This guy not only knows which rocks to turn over, but he has the willingness to turn them over. And they're losing it. You're actually going to have some accountability. You're going to have to stand up and explain what's under this rock and why has it been there so long and who else knew it was under here. And now we need some comeuppance. Oh, you just want to go over the opponents. No, I want to show the entire nation that there's a garden full of rocks here with worms and snakes under all of these rocks that you all have been ignoring for years. We're over it. And now there's somebody who's coming in who's been given the green light by the president-to-be, to go ahead and flip it over. Hey, Barry, why didn't this happen the first time? If Trump wanted to. Sessions wouldn't do it. Other people wouldn't. Bill Barr, go do this. What do you mean you don't want to do it? That's how bad our government's been. It's horrible.
Ones are going to have snakes and scorpions underneath of them. Because he spent many years asking these questions. I can't imagine the day he walks in there and actually, instead of asking for the documents, gets to pull the file open and pull the documents out.
Tried to paint Matt Gaetz like a complete crazy person. You can imagine, remember, the adults are back in charge, right? That this was getting all of the coverage. This Trump ally, he's out here, he's doing this with a 17-year-old girl. And he fought through this. And it sounded like a conspiracy, right? To say that the Department of Justice is using former employees and liaising to try to siphon $25 million from your dad. But Matt Gaetz alleged that the local FBI instructed his dad to wear a wire to record the conversation with the person that was trying.
Did you know that? Did you know that they tried to extort $25 million from his father? And that this guy wore a wire to try and entrap him? Did you know that? I'm pretty sure they leave that off of the shows on MSNBC. They don't tell people that kind of information. Oh, he was accused of, he was investigated. No, there were no charges. Oh, by the way, they had a plant who was trying to extort $25 million from him. How do you just all of a sudden not report that?
Trying to extort them. And guess what? It turned out that Matt Gaetz was telling the truth. In August of 2022, so a little over a year and a half later, Stephen Alford was sentenced to 5 years in prison for a scheme to extort $25 million from the Gaetz family.
Let me know if you've heard that before, because I had heard there was some funky stuff going on with the DOJ, but I didn't know that they had some guy who was trying to extort $25 million from the Gaetz family, Matt Gaetz. So you had a stool pigeon, and then you had another person that was trying to take money from, and that guy went to jail, and then you dropped the entire investigation on Matt Gaetz, but now because he's been nominated as the Attorney General, now you want to let everybody see what this investigation was that never happened. See, the funny thing with this House ethics report that they're trying to leak, the only thing important is when you read through all the sordid details and accusations and everything else, the last paragraph says, undoubtedly, he didn't do anything. But they're going to show everybody all the other 25, 50 pages of stuff. And we found out this and we found out that. Can you get to the end? What's the end say? The end says he didn't do anything. Oh, that's what I thought. Can we just carry on at this point?
So you can just imagine the Department of Justice's surprise. Oh my gosh, you're going to nominate now he's in charge of the Department of Justice? You're going to make him the U.S. Attorney General? I love it. I love it. Okay. He absolutely must be confirmed. And they're freaking out, and they're being honest about why they're freaking out. They're like, well, then he's going to have access to the files of when we were investigating him. And like, by the way, we didn't find anything, so it's not a big deal, but we don't want to, this is an insane pick. Why on earth would they allow him in? Yeah. because you realize that he is someone who you are not going to be able to flip into one of your allies because you attempted to ruin his life and to ruin his reputation. And these are exactly the kinds of picks that we mean. I need someone who has a chip on their shoulder about the DOJ.
Yeah, me too. I want somebody who's going to go in there and kick over kids. Yeah, last night somebody had mentioned one of the episodes of the show Entourage when Jeremy Piven walked in with the paintball gun. I was like, hey, where are you? Poof, he starts picking people off. I like the other one when he walks into the conference room. He goes, oh, let me write it down for you. Get the F out. And then we see all these people over the last 24 hours saying they're going to resign. How are you going to resign right before you get your pink slip? If you resign, you're basically not going to get any severance or anything. You might as well wait for the pink slip. And what kind of threat do you think you're making? Hey, well, all of us Department of Justice attorneys, we're going to quit. That's supposed to be a bad thing? I wasn't aware. you know I was coming in with the broom, right? You know I was getting ready to get rid of a bunch of you, but you're going to take yourselves out? Yeah, go ahead. It's like march them all up to the roof and, hey, have yourself jump. I don't care. You don't think for an instance that there are thousands of attorneys, especially on the right, that we could say, hey, listen, I've got a vacancy for like 1,000 of you. Would you like to come to the Department of Justice? Yeah, of course you got to vet them, but I don't care if I'm an exterminator. I don't care if the rat leaves or if I waste it. Either way, mission accomplished. Quit. I don't care. And the media is acting like that's some sort of deterrent. Oh, there's the entirety of the DEI division is saying they're going to quit. How do you want me to react to that? Am I supposed to be upset? Go, please. There's the door. Do what you need to do. Mayorkas and Garland, they'll be the first ones who gas up the Lear jet. If they quit, they can't be questioned. Why? Why can't they be questioned? Why can't I issue a subpoena and say, get back here? Save the severance package, let them leave on their own volition. Yeah, Trump is going to have a line of people waiting to get jobs. Absolutely. Absolutely. There are going to be some serious patriots. Vivek, RFK Jr. I can't imagine what like the Rolodex for RFK Jr. must look like. I can't imagine what the Rolodex for Vivek. I can't imagine what the Rolodex that Elon has. We need people? Okay. We can get people. And we can get them fast. Absolutely fast. We need a man like Gates, just like King Kong. Just go in there and start stomping the thing. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Absolutely. Did they arrest Mayorkas? No. Nothing. I mean, no one's going to arrest him. Trump's not in charge. Just remember, nothing happens until he actually gets in. Democrats sound like people at a witch trial. Yeah. U.S. citizens can be subpoenaed to Congress, so can these traitors. Oh, no. Let me just clear that up. This isn't one of these feckless hearings for Congress. Oh, no. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the Attorney General. The Attorney General ain't doing these crazy 5-minute apiece hearings in Congress. The Attorney General is taking your ass to criminal court with his subpoena. Ask Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon got put in jail for 4 months because he didn't answer a subpoena by Merrick Garland. This isn't one of these hearings we're going to watch on C-SPAN where they all sit there and have their little 5 minutes. No. That's what they're afraid of. They wouldn't care about that. Even Hunter didn't care about that. They laugh at it. I'm leaving. No. Gates is having a different power altogether. Gates has the full force of the criminal prosecutorial process. Here's your subpoena. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you, you need to be here or else. That's why you're hearing the phrase over and over and over. Pay particular attention to when people are saying this phrase. Preserve your documents. Meaning, we're coming. But you might as well tell somebody at that point, there's two phrases. Govern yourself accordingly and preserve your documents. If anyone ever says those two phrases to you, if you ever get an email where it says govern yourself accordingly and preserve your documents, call the lawyer right away. Make sure you've got your bail already set up. They're telling you it's only a matter of time. The knock on the door is coming. Mr. So-and-so, we need to have everything that you had related to X, Y, and Z. Here's the subpoena. Rather, at that point, it might even be a warrant. It might be a search warrant. See, the guys that kicked in the door at Mar-a-Lago, they weren't congressional hearings. That was FBI, DOJ. That's different. These are the guys who are showing up your house with, automatic weapons. They ain't playing around. Which is why Melania was pissed off. You came to my house with my child and you did all this and you searched through my underwear drawer? You don't think Matt Gaetz has already got some people on speed dial ready to send them to people's houses? He's not targeting his opponent. He's just going to look under the rocks that need to be looked under. See, there's all your evidence. See, that's the problem everyone is having. Oh, he's going to go after your opponents. No, I'm not. I just know that when I tip over this rock, I'm going to see some stuff under here. And it doesn't matter if you're an opponent or not. Once I turn this over and look on the other side and see the festering group of all kinds of crap under here, that's called evidence. I just need to know when I can start looking, because everyone else is ignoring it, i.e., what's taken so long for that list of that people who had that island? Why is nobody opening the list? It's sitting there. You ever ask yourself, why did not a single prosecutor, Jack Smith, anybody, look at that and say, okay, let me go ahead and take a look at this. Yeah. All right, so we need to go pick him up, him, and him, and bring him in for questioning. None. Not one. Not a single one has been charged. You charged somebody with doing stuff to procure young people, but you never charged anyone who received the benefit of said procurement. How is that possible? I don't even know how they arrested her, because in order to basically prove that she procured something, maybe the little procuree said, listen, yeah, she was the one who told me to do this. And then there was no, okay, she told you to do what? She told me to do bad things. To who? Don't ask that question. Oh, she told you to come. Okay, that's all we need to know. She told you to come to the party, and that's all. We're going to stop there. We're not going to ask, well, who was at this party? What did they do? Who else was at there? How could you have an investigation? I think it's the biggest perpetration of fraud on the American people in quite some time. That you had this entire island that everybody knew people were flying over there and doing whatever they were doing, and not a single person was named. Nothing. And now you got this next guy, Puffy. Puffy been having his freaky parties. So what I'm saying is, it's not like Matt Gaetz is looking at, okay, so you're a Democrat, I'm going to have to. No, I'm just going to look at the evidence. And when I turn over this rock and see what's underneath it, which he probably already knows what's underneath it, is why they're pissed off, now I have something to talk about. I'm sorry you're in this back of this rock. I'm sorry that you're attached to this. But it is what it is. I didn't look at this and go, man, I can't wait to find out which Democrats are involved in this. So let me turn it over. Oh, all of these people. You see, they're full of it. They've been so terrified, and they've been trying to tell people he's going to go after his opponents, when nobody needs to go after an opponent. Just turn over the rocks. Open the closet. find the skeletons. You know where the bodies are buried. Start naming these bodies. That's what they're terrified about, because I don't think I feel as though they feel that the nation can't handle it. That these names are going to get named, and it's going to be devastating. Can you imagine? I'll leave it at this. Can you imagine if half the people in Congress were on that list? If big titans of industry were on that list? If big people, big names in entertainment are on that list? I want to know. I think we need to have that kind of justice. I think that what's gone on is people have been afraid because so much money, so much prestige, so much adulation has been placed on these people, and you're going to see the whole thing come tumbling down. I think it'll make Harvey Weinstein look like small potatoes. They took that guy down, and I think that was like, here's a bone, let's take Harvey down. Yeah, we know what he was doing on casting couches. Okay, but the casting couches, for the most part, were adult women or adult men. So I think a lot of people said, yeah, okay, you knew what you were getting into, or you shouldn't have gone there, and then he was the dog for doing what he... Yeah. I think that entire perspective changes when you find out some of these people did what to kids. Say what? Kids? 350,000 of them are missing? Where they at, man? Matt, go find these kids. I want you to pray. We have these prayer meetings every once in a while on Thursday, every other Thursday. I want you to pray and begin thinking to yourself, as much as what is happening, and as much as you want Matt Gaetz to basically open the floodgates and do what you got to do, you better pray to yourself that you're prepared for what you may hear and see. I've talked to some people who work at various sheriff's departments and who have actually seen what they don't want you to know. And these are grown men who have taken down hardened criminals, have been in gunfights, who were reduced to puking and crying like little kids when they saw what they saw. If this stuff comes out like I think it may come out, you better be, I keep telling you, be prepared. It's not just being prepared with food and water and everything else. Be prepared here, emotionally and psychologically. Because we tapped into that with the whole, panda thing, and some of you guys saw it and went, oh my God. Yeah, well, that's just one piece. And if Matt Gaetz and Trump, and you saw him, the loving grandfather and great-grandfather, and how much he loves kids. If Matt Gaetz taps that, be ready for it. And be ready for people that you may have respected to fall out of that rock pile. That terrifies a lot of people. Let's continue. And that's what I think the media is freaking out about.
Add the Secretary of Defense nominee, Peter Hegseth, the Fox News commentator as well, because this is someone who, weekend host, important distinction. This is someone who, is known to be a white supremacist.
Did you know that? Did you know that Pete Hegseth is a proven known white supremacist? The stuff that comes out of these people's mouths on these networks tells me they've been programmed. They've been told, go out there and say this stuff. Oh, just say whatever you want. It's good. We'll never stop you. You're getting paid to go out there and say BS. So Pete Hegseth right now is a known white supremacist.
To be an extremist, whose platform, whose book is basically about his opposition to the advancement of black officers to the top brass.
Well, America, I hope you like measles. Thanks to all of you. This just in, President-elect Donald Trump has just announced a new name to be added to his incoming administration.
You're going to love this montage. Check this out.
Exactly right. He's just flooding the zone with shit to hope to get maybe other appointees down the line, because they got to absorb these bunch of idiots, right, that are coming out right now.
Oh my God. I mean, those of us who have spent our lifetime, kind of decades working in and around in HHS, I'm not kidding, Nicole, my texts are flying off the chain, both Democrats and Republicans saying, this can't be real. Someone must have gotten this wrong. This can't be possible. And now the second underlying chain, there's some silver linings. The second thought I had is, he can't get confirmed, can he? But
I don't know what you want me to say. I am just at a loss, because we're watching something happen in slow motion that is terrifying. You know, the reason we have a great country is because there are pillars in place. There are columns and structures, just like in your house, columns and pillars that you don't see. But they keep things in a good place. They keep things in a good direction. We have healthy children because there are people who've made sure that there are things in place for that. And right now we're seeing termites unleashed on everything. And this is a termite appointment. We know for sure that Bobby Kennedy is a vaccine denier.
We know for sure.
He's a vaccine denier. He denies being a denier. But
this is the absolute triumph and takeover of the Republican Party by MAGA. And it will be the takeover of the U.S. government by MAGA if the Senate lets all of these people go through.
We knew that Donald Trump would go.
Now before this witch starts talking, I've loved how they've taken the term MAGA to be a bad word. You know, MAGA, make America great again. And they've somehow convinced people on the left that that's bad. And Jamie Raskin just spoke as if there was a true insurrection, that they just took over the American government. And I wonder, you know, the Svengali way that they spin things and gaslight people with the watch. Do you realize what happened 10 days ago? A massive landslide with a mandate occurred. There wasn't any hostile takeover of the American government. It was ushered in willingly. We all said, these people out, this guy and his people in. Remember earlier I said they keep focusing on last week and they don't ever talk about what are you going to do different. If it's a takeover of the American government, what's your solution? Kind of got me cornered there. Now listen to this and tell me if this is disinformation.
Would go wild. There's no constraints on him. He could just put all his friends in. But we're talking about RFK Jr. and the possibility of people pulling back on measles vaccines, on another pandemic happening. You're talking about Matt Gaetz. There's a 17-year-old girl out there terrified that.
Just so you know, the allegation about Matt Gaetz was from 2017. In 2017, the allegation that it was proven to be false, the person who was making the allegation was from 2017. She was 17. Which means since we're in 2024 heading to 2025, she's about 24, 25, Joy. You're lying to your audience once again. And there's nothing that this media won't lie about. There's nothing that they won't obfuscate and then try to pretend as though it's real.
All of her records, all of the witnesses against him in this case where she was trafficked could be in the hands of Matt Gaetz, and he could be the most powerful law enforcement official in the country in a case where the president of the United States is an adjudicated sexual.
I'm showing this for a reason. I know a lot of you guys don't like Joy Reid. I can't stand her. I loathe her. But I want to show you something. Because what you're seeing, and I've said it many times now, is agonal breathing. If you don't know what that means, go ahead and look up the definition of agonal breathing. But you're seeing people on their deathbed. These are people who are scratching against the blackboard, trying to find any way possible to avoid what's coming. And their bosses are trying to avoid what's coming. Chris Wallace just got fired today, or decided to leave. $7-8 million salary. No, I'm out. Joy Reid decides, I'm not going to be on X anymore. The agonal breathing that you're seeing is heaving. I mean, absolutely heaving at this point, because they don't have anything else to talk about. And the agonal breathing is being caused because they know specifically right now, and I'm going to prove to you, they know the end is near. That's what's got them all freaked out. They know what's coming. They're all done.
Abuser, if you're a sexual assault survivor, you're thinking, oh my God, this country is out to get me. They're out to get me and force me to have children by sexual assault. So the message to women has been insane, okay? And the people he's nominating are TV hosts, etc. Do you think the people who voted for him that you've talked to were expecting this?
No.
So you think that AOC has walked around and got the pulse of Trump voters? Understand the question she just asked. She didn't say, hey, AOC, have you been talking to your voters or your supporters? She just asked her point blank, the people who voted for him, did they envision this? And I'm like, number one, why are you asking her? And number two, hell yes. There's not a Trump supporter out here who felt that this isn't what they wanted.
Or true mass deportation.
Genuinely,
yeah,
no. And it's heartbreaking, actually. It is heartbreaking. And people may want to take like a kind of vengeful stance about this, but it is genuinely heartbreaking.
You said that already.
People need to understand that there are people, millions of people in this country, and I was one of them, where you are working 2-3 shifts a day to try to make ends meet. You're not reading the newspaper every morning with a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
You're not. And it's not to say that people are uneducated or uninformed or anything like that, but like, this is real life. Yeah. This is real life.
Perhaps Trump is trying to usher in an economy where you don't have to work 2 or 3 shifts to make ends meet. Have you thought about that, AOC? The reason people are having, her words, the reason people are having to work 2 and 3 shifts to make ends meet is because what you and your compadres have been doing for the last 4 years. The lack of self-awareness is incredible. People are having to work shifts, 2 or 3 shifts, try to get ends meet, but that's your fault. That's not Trump's fault. That's your fault. That's why you guys will never get voted in again. Wait till people no longer have to work 2 and 3 shifts to make ends meet. What happens when somebody can work 1 week and go, I'm good. I don't need to work 3 weeks in one. These people.
You got a baby on your hip and you've got 2-3 shifts to work in that day and you're just trying to make things work and you have such an overwhelm of information. And I actually think something that is different about this moment than I saw, whether it was 2020 or after 2016, is that almost like right the day after, people immediately were coming to me and saying, he's not actually going to do that, right?
I don't gamble. I do play poker. But I would push all in. I would take every chip in front of me and I would be like, yeah, you're bluffing. I'm pushing all in. If you're telling me that you've talked to Trump supporters and people who voted for him said he's not really going to deport these people, is he? Let me back it up. That they came to you to ask you whether Trump was serious about deporting people. I'm sorry. I can't affirmatively say she's lying. I can't affirmatively say she's full of crap. But I'm going to get real close to it, okay? I'm going to get real close to the fact of I really, 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 really feel confident this woman's so full of crap that her eyes can't shake. She can't contain the poop coming up out of her eyes. It's all backed up at this point. You're trying to tell the people watching this television show on MSNBC that people who voted for Trump came to you and said, he's not really going to do that, is he? Anybody here buying that?
And it's important to say, people may often say, he said he was going to do this. It was right here on the campaign trail. If you actually listen to him, if you listen to Donald Trump's acceptance speech, when he talked about immigration, he talked about legal pathways first.
Yeah. He didn't say
he didn't lead with mass deportation.
Absolutely. Okay,
These people are really that stupid. They are really that stupid. I'm convinced. That's why I was saying to you, I don't know how much of it is an act. They'd have to be great actresses, but I'm leaning toward the stupidity.
I'm going to hold you. We're going to hold you over if you don't mind. We're going to hold for one.
Okay, what she says right here, it happens very fast, but I want you to hear what she says right here. It may not seem really big as she says it, but it's oh so important. Listen to it.
We're going to take a quick break, pay for all of this, and then when we come back,
we're going to take a quick break so we can pay for all of this. Interesting, Joy. So the commercials that run on your show, the commercials run on my YouTube channel, the commercials that run on any show, they pay the bills for the people who are talking. So when you cut to that commercial, you tell AOC, hey, listen, I'm going to cut. Can I hold you over? You're going to be back after the break? Okay. After this break, we're going to come back and talk some more crap, some more misinformation. But right now, we got to pause and pay some bills. What happens if those people who currently pay the bills for MSNBC, CNN, CBS, ABC, NBC, aren't there anymore? You see where I'm going with this? Like I said, I think a couple of days ago, NBC, ABC, and CBS are probably going to be okay because they have alternative programming. At night, they have television shows. Television shows, people watch, you get paid. News channels, this is garbage 24/7. MSNBC, dumpster fire 24/7. CNN, dumpster fire 24/7. Fox, dumpster fire 20 out of 24. What happens when you can't cut to something to pay said bills? Who would be causing you not to be able to pay said bills? I'm going to show you in a second here. Let's continue with this moron.
We haven't even gotten to Tulsi Gabbard potentially having access to national security information, and Russia loves it, loves her.
And I actually think almost more than Matt Gaetz, Tulsi Gabbard's appointment is devastating. And Tulsi,
call your lawyer. What she's about to say. I think you got a defamation suit coming.
Gabbard's nomination, as much as she says that she's an anti-war person, she's not.
Yeah.
She supports very pro-war individuals.
Including abroad. In Syria.
And let's be very clear, a Tulsi Gabbard nomination is a pro-war nomination globally. Point blank, period.
As is Donald Trump as president of the United States.
Point blank, period. I think that's an easy case. Put her out of business. Go ahead and sue her. But before you do that with her, Tulsi, you might want to talk about this one.
Tulsi Gabbard is someone who has met with war criminals, violated the Department of State's guidance, and secretly, clandestinely went to Syria and met with Assad, who gassed and attacked his own people with chemical weapons. She's considered to be, essentially, by most assessments, a Russian asset.
She's considered to be, by most, a Russian asset. Most of who? You just, again, these people have no qualms on, this is on MSNBC again, of saying stuff, just saying it. They don't care. Their audience is that stupid. But I think you're coming to a point where that agonal breathing is starting to affect them all. They realize, get it out there as much as we can right now, because it's all going to come to a screeching halt. What do we do? What do we do when we can't do this anymore? This is a sitting congresswoman from Florida, unfortunately, who's talking to her in the rotunda. She's talking as a government official on a network, and she's saying this woman, who is now going to be the director of national intelligence, is a Russian asset. And most people feel that way. I told you, as you can see at the bottom, the media and DC folks are freaking. No one can stop what is coming. The reality of their demise is setting in. It's pure panic. There is nothing substantive about it. They understand at this point the gig is up.
And would be the most.
Is that how you
dangerous...
consider her? Is that what you consider
yes.
her?
Oh yes. There's.
Is that what you consider her? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She's a Russian asset.
No question. I
don't remember in my 10 years covering him, and I covered him to some extent back in 2011, so it's longer. But since 2015 till now, when he actually ran, I don't remember a moment like this, or I should say quite like this, because these nominations, I have no idea how many of these people are going to be confirmed. Tulsi Gabbard, Kristi Noem, Matt Gaetz, Pete Hegseth, Bobby Kennedy. 5. Those are the 5.
For those of you who don't know, this is Mark Halperin, who used to be on MSNBC, has his own podcast now as well that he's growing, and he's turned into more of a, I wouldn't say a moderate, he's just turned more to calling balls and strikes, no longer leaning into the left, calling things as he sees it, calling things as people he works with see it, and trying to take it from there and let people know, here's what people are saying that I speak to.
They're all going to shake up their departments if they're confirmed. They're all political allies of Donald Trump. They're all people who bring an outsider perspective outside the norm. And if you talk to MAGA people and to Mar-a-Lago, they'll say, that's what Donald Trump wants. That's what his followers want. That's what the mandate he has is. They also all have policy positions that many Americans don't like. And in the case of Bobby Kennedy, some policy positions that are not supported by science. Okay?
Whose science? I mean, that's a question you can ask. Whose science?
In the case of Pete Hegseth saying women shouldn't be in combat, that's controversial.
To who? See, I hate when people make statements and don't fill in the blank. Pete Hegseth said women shouldn't be in combat, which is controversial to who?
But it would change the current policy in a way that a lot of Americans wouldn't like. But then there's the issue of whether they're up to the job. All 5 of those jobs involve management. And in the case of the Pentagon and Homeland Security and HHS, massive bureaucracies, hundreds of thousands of millions of employees in the case of the Pentagon. So when you think about, will they do a good job? That's going to, if they're confirmed, that'll eventually be an important question. Will they be good at what they do? Some people are saying, well, it's all going to be consolidated in the White House, so who cares who's in the cabinet? It's still an important job. Even if this White House skews in the balance between control from the White House versus delegation to the cabinet secretaries maximally to control of the White House, it's still very important what the quality of the people running these departments. Can they do the job? But before that, the question will be, will they be confirmed? And you hear...
Notice that for some reason, they all ignore the recess appointments. John Thune came out and reiterated to everybody yesterday that they may give the Senate a shot, but it's going to happen. Just so you guys know, what everyone is saying at this point is that it's going to happen. There are 53 Republican senators. I think Mark Halpern's going to address this. That means the Republicans can lose 3 votes. Those 3 votes, we already know who 2 of them are going to be. They're basically essentially Democrats in Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski. That means they could lose 1 more and still get him confirmed. But if he doesn't get confirmed, I wouldn't go lighting off fireworks and stuff. Because at that point, then the nuclear plan would probably be put into effect. I'm surprised that Trump would even give them the opportunity to go through the song and dance. You see, they're all assuming that's what's going to happen. Who knows? Maybe they will give them the opportunity to do the right thing. But if I were Trump, I wouldn't give him any opportunity at all. I would just push it through.
From all the Democrats in the Senate and in the interest groups and in the media, and from some Republicans, depending on the nominee, concerns about them, but they're not always delineated, right? Is the concern that they're going to be too revolutionary in what they do for the department? Is the concern that they can't manage it? Is it concern that they have policy positions that are out of step? Some people have multiple concerns. I think that there's real questions about whether all 5 of them will be confirmed. All 5. Some people have the point of view that says Trump will get his way on all of them. And my experience today with the Kennedy intention to nominate added in was the same as yesterday. Really smart people who understand Capitol Hill and politics and confirmation history say Gates is going to be confirmed. Kennedy's going to be confirmed because, for one thing, as I tweeted earlier today, every Republican senator has constituents, donors, staff, family members in some cases who want jobs in the Trump administration. And if they're the ones who try to take his nominees down, and again, forget about the recess appointment, 50 votes means...
Well, why would we forget about the recess appointments? I don't understand why so many people in the media are just completely discounting that. When Trump himself and the majority leader right now, that's what they're saying. And I keep hearing people in the media go, forget about recess appointments. Why? Why are you telling people that's not going to happen?
You can lose Murkowski and Collins. Maybe you won't lose them on everybody, but you'll lose them on some probably. You can lose 1 more. So every one of them could go down, I think, but they could all be confirmed. And as I said, I talked to people today who said they'll all be confirmed.
So he's out there talking to people on Capitol Hill, and he's using the word confirmed. And he said the people he's talking to say, yeah, they're going to get confirmed. I don't know. I don't know what kind of shell game is happening. I do know Murkowski and Collins said they wouldn't support him, but unlike when they did the secret ballot to basically have the majority leader elected, the ballot, if they go to a confirmation route, is fully public. And Elon has already said, anybody who stands in the way, anybody, you're basically committing hara-kiri. We will fund anyone to take your seat. We will come after you scorched earth. If you step up and you're in the way, and I love what he did say, he goes, family, friends, people who want jobs in the Trump administration. The pressure is insurmountable for people like Murkowski and Collins to be playing their stupid games. It's obviously going to be insurmountable for many other Republicans. They need to get the Republicans voting like the Democrats, in lockstep. Everything he does, you need to be behind it. And the threat at this point is absolutely huge. Maybe they do bring it to a vote just so they can show people this is the kind of power Trump has. I know you don't like this. I know you don't. You're going to vote for it, right? You're no secret ballot here. Don't let me see you not voting for this. Don't let people in your Lindsey, Tim Scott, you traitor, don't let people in South Carolina see you not vote for this. I couldn't even imagine when you get in some of these states like Kentucky and South Carolina that Trump won by 15, 20 points. If Lindsey Graham and Tim Scott would have the cojones to vote no on one of Trump's, appointees. Ain't gonna happen. I just don't think that they have the intestinal fortitude. Otherwise, they would have done it with the majority leader. So their fail-safe is to hope that Thune doesn't bring and won't allow the recess appointments. If he doesn't allow that, then we're going to see some crazy stuff. I mean, just crazy.
The authoritarian promise is that everything shrivels in government other than the will of the leader, right? So you don't necessarily put a Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in charge of HHS because you're hoping for great things from HHS. I mean, Matt Gaetz, among all the other things we can say about Matt Gaetz, he has explicitly proposed abolishing the Justice Department, not specifically just abolishing the FBI and the ATF, but talking about abolishing the Justice Department. I mean, Tulsi Gabbard, as the Director of National Intelligence, the idea that Tulsi Gabbard, in a normal circumstance, could get a security clearance to be like a Walmart-style greeter at any U.S. intelligence.
It's amazing to me how the insults just flow off their tongues. That Tulsi Gabbard isn't even qualified to be a Walmart greeter. What do these people think of themselves? They must just have the most highly falutin self-awareness ever. You sit in this tower in New York City and make $20 million. It must be really nice to just say this. Well, she couldn't even be a Walmart greeter. See, there's two problems with that. One, you're saying that a person who just got nominated to be the Director of National Intelligence couldn't even be a Walmart greeter. And the second part is, you don't even realize how elitist what you just said. What's wrong with being a Walmart greeter, Rachel? You insulted two people. Actually, a lot more than two. There's a lot more Walmart greeters than there are congressmen around the country. And you just made it sound like it was some low-level pissant job that even Tulsi couldn't do. Nice.
Agency, let alone get past the security barriers, is insane. So you do that because you want.
You're a disgrace. You're a disgrace. You're an absolute disgrace. And for the Roberts, this is the Roberts family, to keep her on there, her nasty attitude, her nasty mouth. Well, you don't like Tulsi. You don't like Lieutenant Colonel who has a security clearance because she served her country, which you didn't, because she's not a lesbian. Is that it? Or she's a woman of color. Right? She's a woman of color. Or she served her country. Or she saw your lies. She specifically went from a Democrat that believed your lies to now she's part of MAGA. Is that where you hate her? You hate her because she saw your lies? Why do you come after Tulsi Gabbard, and why do you lie and smear her? She has a security clearance. It's not for being a greeter at Walmart. It's for being in the field up in Syria. Right? Up in Syria, where your American empire is rutting around where it shouldn't be. Rutting around where it shouldn't be. Maddow, you're a disgrace. And you got your comeuppance last Tuesday. All your MSNBC and Joanne Reid and Chris Hayes and all your acolytes. Democracy. You put democracy on the ballot, ma'am. You put it on there. You put it on there. And the American people, not the credential class, not the snowflakes that watch MSNBC, the 2/3 are curled up in the fetal position not watching you right now. Your gutless viewers are sucking, they got a pacifier in the fetal position to
bring it, Steve.
The two gutless to stand up and say, hey, we're going to fight these guys. They're not going to fight us. They're gutless like you are. You sit up there when you got all the power and you got all your experts that are coming from the government, and you're going to mock Tulsi Gabbard? You're going to mock a young woman that served her country and come up through the ranks and now is a lieutenant colonel in the United States Army Reserve and is deployed before? Is that what you're going to do? Why? Because she's a woman of color? Is that what you're going to do? You think you can pick on her that way? Or she's a patriot? Or she was a former progressive Democrat that's now with MAGA? Or she's not a... Is that what it is? Is that what gets under the skin? You think you have to go...
I had to delete the word because he said it twice.
After... I'll match her security clearance because I will guarantee you one thing, ma'am. You will never, ever, ever have a security clearance. You will never have a security clearance. Yes. The enemies of the people are the media. I've said that for years. They're the opposition party in all their glory. And I think you need a deep, fundamental investigation of how they've coordinated and been part of a criminal conspiracy.
With a stroke of the pen.
Okay. So I've told you earlier I was going to pull this together and show you why this was agonal breathing. Every single one of those networks that I showed you, CNN, ABC, MSNBC, they get their, when Joy Reid said it, she goes, I got to stop right now. I got to stop right now because I got to pay some bills. I have to pay some bills. So I want you, and I found this last night, I want you to hear what RFK Jr. says about them paying some bills.
You can change back the rule that allows pharmaceutical advertisers to do direct-to-consumer ads on television. That's one of the big problems. That's why one of the reasons we have this entrenched agency capture, not only of Congress, because they control the airwaves, they control the evening news. 75% of the revenues for those evening news shows for, Anderson Cooper is coming from Pfizer, another pharmaceutical company.
All right, did you catch that? I heard this last night and I was like, oh my God, that's it. 75% of the revenue for all of these networks comes from pharmaceutical ads. And I talked about it last night, and I said, you see the different commercials about colorectal and the little blue pill that does it well, and all these commercials. And it's inundated. You just keep getting inundated by all these pharmaceutical ads. 75% of the revenue of CNN and MSNBC come from pharmaceutical ads. And as RFK Jr. just said, with a stroke of his pen, as the new HHS director, endorsed by the president, who could then sign it behind him, doesn't need to go to Congress, doesn't need a bill. I can just do by regulation, I can just say, you are no longer allowed to go direct to public with advertising for pharmaceuticals like it used to be. And then all of a sudden, 75% of your revenue that you go cut to because you got to pay some bills is gone. I'm thinking to myself when I heard that last night and as I was putting this show together, and I'm like, that's it. That's why they're freaking out. They realize now that this guy, RFK Jr., had already said, if I get in there, if I'm the man, I'm cutting that. All that revenue, bye-bye. Gone. Instantly. No congressional hearings, nothing. You can't sue, it's gone. Why do you think that that Comcast decided they were going to sell MSNBC? Why do you think Comcast all of a sudden said, yeah, maybe we might want to get rid of MSNBC? You think maybe they saw the writing on the wall and said, oh man, this dude is going to win. And when this dude wins, we're in big trouble. Because when he decides to just take all of our money, you get 25%. Maybe you can still pay Anderson Cooper $20 million. Maybe you can still pay, Rachel Maddow $20 million. Good luck. good luck staying afloat.
So, and those companies are dictating content on those shows, and they dictate the official narratives, and they're able then to exercise huge control over Congress. So Congress is terrified of them. But with a stroke of the pen, you can say this is not good for the health of our country, which it isn't. We spend 3 times more than any other country for pharmaceutical drugs because of all this advertising. And we have the worst health outcomes of any, I think we're 79th in the world.
So I coupled that last night when I heard that being said. I'm like, so what's happening? What exactly is happening? And then today, this morning, you guys know who owns MSNBC by chance? I'm going to tell you, but in case you don't know who owns MSNBC, that would be Comcast. Comcast owns NBC Universal, which owns MSNBC. Disney owns ABC, ABC News. What do you think happened today? Well, I'm going to show you. Just want to say that we super appreciate the major brands that are now going to be resuming advertising on our platform. Thanks, Linda Iacovino, I think it's how you say her name, and the whole X team for your hard work in restoring confidence in our platform and ensuring that advertising content only appears where advertisers, quote, want it shown. This was 5 hours ago, so this was posted at 12 o'clock, so that's Elon posted it 3 hours ago, but here was the actual announcement. IBM, Disney, who owns ABC and ABC News, Comcast, which owns MSNBC, Discovery, Warner Brothers, which I think is tied in with CNN, and Lionsgate Entertainment have reportedly resumed ad campaigns on X after a year-long boycott. The return is attributed to Linda Iacovino, her leadership as she rebuilds trust and ad partnerships on the platform. And that's Linda right there. You think it's a coincidence? It's a coincidinky? It just happened that this morning, RFK Jr. says, hey, we're going to, with a stroke of a pen, it's all going to go away. Last night, that was posted. I mean, he said it a while ago, but it started floating around last night. And then this morning, Comcast decides to wake up and go, well, let's take that money from MSNBC and let's start putting it in X. Elon has been posting over and over and over about the power of X, and this is where people get their news now. When I say we, is because as I'm talking to you right now, you may be watching on YouTube, but you may be also watching on X as I'm simulcasting to both platforms. The agonal breathing I told you about, Joy Reid, when she cut to that segment, said, I've got to pay some bills. I hope you had somebody, maybe you want to call Mike Lindell, because in about 60 days, 58 days from now, when Trump gets in office, one of the first things he's going to do is, with that stroke of a pen, all of that revenue for those networks, just like that. And you won't hear people talking about this. If you have to listen, what, can I really do that to this network? Yeah. And then to add insult to injury, to make it even worse, yeah. You got to see this one. Election interference. President-elect Trump has filed a $10 billion lawsuit against CBS and the Texas court for its decision to mislead the American voters by changing Kamala Harris's bungled answers in editing, and 2 FTC commissioners have said the actions were illegal. Trump sues CBS for $10 billion because of what they did then. $10 billion is a lot of money. I'm really pretty sure at this point that $10 billion would really hurt CBS. I'm pretty sure at this point they would say, okay, Donnie, what do we got to do? No mas. please no more. But that's not it. He's not over. That's just not who else he is suing. I don't know if you've seen this. This came out just last night, or I guess they're ahead of us because their time on it says 8:30 today. Donald Trump suing top media houses for a whopping $10 billion. So this is a second lawsuit for $10 billion. Let me close this ad. Okay. It says Trump has branded the media as the enemy of the people, a sentiment he reiterated in his victory speech, referring to the press outlets as the enemy camp. Trump's lawyer, Edward Andrew, what did I do there? Trump's lawyer, Edward Andrew Palcic, has filed a lawsuit seeking $10 billion in damages from the New York Times, Penguin Random House. The lawsuit accuses these entities of publishing defamatory material, specifically citing articles in a book titled Lucky Loser, How Donald Trump Squandered His Father's Fortune and Created the Illusion of Success. So Trump has sued the New York Times for $10 billion. He has sued CBS for $10 billion. And in this lawsuit, I think there's a couple other networks that he's also included as well. But in any event, all these lawsuits are flying at the same time that RFK Jr. is about to take all the money away from the networks. The man is going scorched, flipping earth. You effed around, and now you're about to find out. And the worst part about it is there's nothing they can do. Can you imagine sitting in a Comcast boardroom and saying, okay, so what happened? Well, the guy just got elected. Okay? And then last night he decided he's going to nominate RFK Jr. And just going like that, knowing that the boardroom and everything you see is being paid by pharmaceutical companies. You were paid to push all the stuff all the way back when we had to do that, although I didn't do it. 75% of your revenue that pays these salaries is about to evaporate, in addition to his lawsuits. Oh, and by the way, maybe your people won't even have access to the news anymore. Well, Barry, what are you talking about in that regard? Oh, something else that just came out. Let's see here. At 5:30 this morning, Trump's White House plans to issue press credentials to podcasters and creators like me on X. Imagine Joe Rogan, Cat Turd, and Amuse at the White House. It didn't say whether he was telling the other people you couldn't be here anymore, but it does say at this point that podcasters and YouTubers, a lot of the people who helped him get elected, are now going to get credentials for the White House press briefing. When you put the entirety of all this together and putting alternative media in the front seat and bankrupting the bad media, where these congressmen and acolytes for whoever, Obama or Biden, whoever, would run and spew their venom, and people like Rachel Maddow who get paid $10, $20, $30 million a year to be the facilitators of those venom. You went after this man every single day. Every single day, thinking you'd always get away with it. And as Tucker said, Daddy's home and he's pissed as hell. And he's not going after your opponents. He's just following the law. It's not like he's seeking any, looking to take you out with some legal thing. I'm just going to take what hurts you most, what you worship. I'm going to take your money. And when I take the money from you, the people who pay you are going to dump your network. It's like all of a sudden Comcast decides we're going to move money to X and we're going to sell MSNBC. You really couldn't make this up. I don't know how long this man has worked on this script and how long he has been plotting and coming up with this masterpiece that he's putting together. And we're only 10 days removed from the election. Imagine that. He only got elected on November 5th. Today, as you're watching this video, and for those of you who watch the replay, today's the 15th. So in 10 days, he is launching these nukes that nobody can stop. I can imagine the war rooms that they had set up at Mar-a-Lago and what they were doing and how they were game playing it. It's like, what are we going to do first, and how are we going to get this done and do? And now I know why the traffic down here to Mar-a-Lago was so voluminous. These people have been coming up with their game plan the entire time. They've been flying on Trump Force One. They've been thinking about, okay, so what do we do when we do this? We do this, we do this, we do this. And it's happening so quickly, they can't react. And even if they could react, there's nothing you can do about it. You cannot stop RFK Jr. from taking 75% of your revenue away. Can't stop it. Nothing you can do. You can't stop him from... You think it's by accident that he just happened to drop two $10 billion lawsuits? He's making the enemy fight on so many different fronts. Any of you who are in military, you know, when you study war, it's, watch your flank, because if you're focusing here, something might come here. And he's got these people going, oh, crap, we got to go run over here with force and spend money in court. Oh, he's taking away our advertisers. And then, of course, the big one to me was almost the serious middle finger. Is what you're seeing here is this. Kiss it. Kiss it. Love it. Kiss the frickin' ring. Go pay Elon. Go make this richest man in the world even richer. Is that legal? Why not? I sell advertising. Remember you told me when I bought X I was wasting my money? Oh, you guys are all leaving? Isn't it weird how y'all leaving while your advertisers are coming here? You can't make that up. You can't make up the fact that some of the biggest companies in the world, and they got friends, there'll be more. IBM, Disney, Comcast, Discovery, Warner Brothers, blah, 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 keep going, are now ending their boycott all of a sudden. They've been boycotting this thing after a year. Why would you now all of a sudden end your boycott? We're sorry. we didn't mean it, Elon. Yeah, we were told. Biden and Kamala told us they were going to win, so we didn't advertise. But now that you guys are, please don't hurt us. We need these eyeballs. We see the ratings. We understand what the numbers look like. Lately, I've been getting emails from people saying, hey, are you see where you're ranking in your streams? I'm like, no, I wasn't paying any attention to it. I look at my YouTube stats, and they're like, you might want to look at this. And I look at these numbers on our streaming numbers, and I'm like, I don't even know if you guys have seen this, but it's very interesting when you look at it. And I'm not going to show you this to toot my own horn, although the horn be tooting around the family. But I want you to see something. This is from yesterday, because it comes out daily. The top news-related live streams in the United States. Big Dan is number 1. Steven Crowder, number 2. Timcast, Bannon's. As you can go down the list, and then there's yours truly. I popped in there. I even beat Donald Trump Jr. Notice what you don't see in there. Notice what is missing from this list. Like I told you, this wasn't about me tooting my horn. Notice what's not on that list. Nothing from MSNBC, nothing from CNN, nothing from NBC, nothing from ABC News. None of them. Those are the top 15 streamers as in yesterday's marketplace. Thank you all for getting me up to number 13. Much appreciated. But what I want to bring your attention to is that there are no Zippo news stations in that list. Trump knows what he's doing. Elon knows what he's doing. And talk about Elon, let me just point something else out with you. The color grid here, this is green is Rumble, red is YouTube, and that's all. And the other green is sometimes Twitch is in there, but they're not ranking X yet. So now you're going to start, I would say probably with the next month or so, you're going to see them start ranking X. The news as you know it is about to change forever. News as we have known it our entire lives is about to get turned off. It will be, it basically already is irrelevant. When things are happening, I don't run to the television anymore to see which station has it. I just pick up my phone and go to X. And I'm sure someone's going to say, hey, this just happened. Okay, got it. Now, these people are so far behind they can't even think straight. And now the coup de grace, the cherry on top, is all the advertisers, not all, but many of the advertisers now saying, we're back. Trump has orchestrated his return to the market in such a big way, and return to the office in such a huge way, that these people will not be able to compete. Yesterday, Chris Wallace said he was going to leave CNN and he was going to start his own podcast. Good friggin' luck. Go for it. And I'm not being facetious or trying to put on airs, but it takes a lot of work, Chris. It's not like you just stroll into makeup and have somebody do your hair and then have the teleprompter set up. No, doesn't work that way, bro. Doesn't work that way at all. And then just thinking you're important because you're on CNN or CBS or Fox, whatever, you're not building an audience. The audience is there because it's on Fox. It's there because it's on CNN. Ask your boy Don Lemon about that. The one who just exited Twitter. Think about that. You're Joy Reid, you're Don Lemon, and some of these people. You are news people. And you have decided to exit the biggest news platform in the world. Like I said, I think these people are stupid. You are news. Don Lemon, you want to build yourself a news following, and you decided to leave the biggest news platform in the world. You can't make up that kind of stupidity. You and Joy Reid both. It is what it is, and I don't think Trump is done. People have already turning him and his cohorts off. Yeah, they are. Very better at keeping Mike on. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm really trying to make a concerted effort not to hit that button. The only time I hit that button now, I told myself, is if I got a cough. And if I got a cough, I'll hit the mute button, or if the dog barks. But other than that, that's going to be it. We Are the News now comes to mind. Yep, absolutely. Benny Johnson is on there twice. The reason why Benny is on there twice, if you notice, let me just address that real quick. You got Benny, who is, this here is red, that's his YouTube channel, and then Benny at 15, that's his Rumble. So he's getting so much traffic on two different platforms, he ends up being on there twice. Dan Bongino is only doing it on Rumble. Don't be surprised if you don't see Benny show up 3 times when they start calculating X, because Benny gets a huge crowd also on X. So Benny's going to have the opportunity to take up 3 different spots on this one list. Unfortunately, some of the other people have been kicked off of YouTube. Dan Bongino, as you know, he was kicked off of YouTube, so he doesn't have the opportunity. He doesn't do anything on X. He posts, but he doesn't go live. Crowder, I think he's on YouTube. Tim is on YouTube. Steve Bannon, he got kicked off, so he's gone. Obviously, InfoWars got kicked off a long time ago. Let's see who down here. Charlie Kirk, I'm not sure if he's on or not. Redacted, they're on YouTube, but for some reason they're doing most of their stuff on Rumble. Obviously, Donald Trump Jr. would probably get bounced off of YouTube. So it's all about the network in terms of which one you want to do. But I would expect that Benny will be on there 3 times. I think Benny will be on there for Rumble. I think he'll be on there for X, and he'll be on there for YouTube. I think InfoWars, whatever's happening with him, will be on there 2 places. He's doing Rumble, and Alex Jones has been doing a lot on Twitter. So Alex Jones may show up there twice, which is why I'm beginning to simulcast there, because I see where things are going. I'm doing the old Wayne Gretzky thing. Don't skate to where the puck is, skate to where the puck is going to be. And as I sit here and I look at these lists and I can see what's going on with Elon, and I can see that he's about to, do all these different things, and the advertisers are coming back. Let me give you a hint. If you're a content creator, you best start posting on X. A lot of original content. You might start doing videos and dropping them and doing some live streaming on X as well, because that's where the puck is going. And over the next 4 years, it's going to explode, because the mainstream media is done. They, like I mentioned, the agonal breathing, they are done. They just don't know it yet, but they're done. If they lose 75% of their revenue, yeah, they're absolutely done. Let's see here. How does Tucker show his show on X? Nope. Tucker got booted on. Tucker got booted off of YouTube, and he's doing his live broadcast on X only. So he's doing very well. Tucker's. I don't think Tucker's on YouTube, and if not, I think he got pulled. Thank you, Barry and Benny. Love you guys. Thank you very much. My phone's going off here. Wayne was at Mar-a-Lago. Wayne who? I know Steve Bann is going there today. Steve had to basically get off of his show and go to a meeting in Mar-a-Lago. That's interesting. Steve Kerr says InfoWars is back. That's the weirdest story in media right now. Yesterday, they brought in a court order and said they were auctioning off all his stuff, Alex Jones. And then they find out that, I don't know if it was a fraudulent order or what, but another judge threw it out and Alex is back for now. So it's absolutely crazy. Joey and Dom leaving X because they ain't got nobody buying what they're selling. Stupidest move. If you consider yourself a news person and want to converse with people, leaving X is career suicide. It makes absolutely no sense. At that point, you're cutting off your nose to spite your face. It was like that like a year ago. People they had memes. Oh, you pay Elon money. I'm like, do you have any idea what that allows you to do? Do you know what that's $16 a month? I don't care if I pay more than $16 for stuff I write around it. So yeah, $60. Tucker is on YouTube. Okay, great. Tucker's on YouTube. Let's see, maybe Melania is setting up a room for Elon. I don't know, he ain't ever leaving. What they have done to Alex Jones is criminal also. And here's what I'm really thinking. I'm thinking that now that Trump is elected, the iron claw that is YouTube will stop being so oppressive. I think with Elon now starting to get advertisers, there's probably some conversations in boardrooms going, I don't think we can be this censor-laden platform anymore. He's coming after you. He created a video. I'm talking about Trump said, we're going after people who censor. We're coming after you. So somebody said, Julie Green, pastor and prophet, has been spot on in her prophecies from God. I hear a lot about her. It wasn't considered an auction. The judge fixed it for Onion, even though there was a higher bidder. Ooh, that's evil. That's real evil. Let's see here. YouTube has major competition, and they may not think so right now, but they do. All right, so the FDA just announced a recall of what? What'd you say that was? Of cheeseburgers from someplace in North Dakota. Oh, so they're just playing stupid right now. What else we got going? Trump will clap down on Google, who owns YouTube. It's not just YouTube. Yeah, the search, that's the next thing. The search and how they've been messing with that algorithm. Francis Finnerty. Barry, I heard that Elon is thinking about buying MSNBC. Maybe he wants to also get the TV audience as well. I know, a lot of stuff out there. I mean, I don't know why you would want that when you have X. The only thing I could think of is possibly what Elon may do is buy MSNBC to turn it into, and he would just need the shell, meaning the broadcast rights and everything else, to turn it into XTV. But I don't know. I know Jack Posobiec was thinking about doing something as well. So we shall see what these people are going to do. Let's go ahead and, by the way, if you'd like to join us on X, would love to have you there in our free private membership group. Just go to fanfareshop.org/group. It'll take you right to the group where you can just tell us you want in, and we'll go ahead and approve your membership, and you can be a part of a going close to 10,000 people at this point. 10,000 in a little over a month. That's fantastic. Love you guys for that. In addition, we're going to give away at the 7:30 show tonight. Going to give out 3 more hoodies. 3 more hoodies at the 7 o'clock show tonight. So let me go ahead and address the super chats, because I always do that before I leave. Here. Fred Garcia, Truckers of America. Thank you for your service to educate America in a smart and funny way. Yeah, my brother-in-law used to be a car transport trucker, the big tractor trailer that takes all the cars. So I learned a lot what he would do, going back and forth, bringing cars to dealerships and things of that nature. Tim Allred, how far up the chain of command do you think DJT will go to prosecute those who've broken the law? I didn't know there was a barrier based upon how far up the chain you are. I'm pretty sure if there's a law broken, it's worth investigating. I mean, so, whoa. I mean, I would think that you would do that. Just, I got sidetracked because of what Mike Battelle did here. Mike, thank you, brother. My gosh, thank you. God bless you and your family, Barry. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving and keep up the great work. Thank you so much. Wow, that's awesome. God bless you for that. Thanksgiving, we're probably just going to stay here. And then for Christmas, after Christmas, we're heading up to North Carolina to see Ashley and the kids. Wow, thank you, Mike. That's great. Thank you very much. Becky Donovan, if you get a press pass, I will be your camera person. Oh, I can't. Can you imagine Alex Jones and some of the fire Alex Jones and Steve Bannon and some of the people sitting in that front row. Hey, how you doing, Don? Yeah, Mr. President, sir, can I ask you a question? These people behind them would lose it. Absolutely lose it. Joe Rogan. Oh, the press world as we know it would not exist anymore. It would be over. Sybil Clements, thank you very much. How did Menendez get to vote for Thune? Good. She's talking about the senator from New Jersey who's basically been a mobster with the gold and everything. I don't know. I guess he's still there. The same thing was done decades ago. This is Katina with cigarette commercials. They were removed from the airwaves. Yep, exactly. Anyone thinking they can't do this, they can't just take pharmaceutical. You do not have a right to advertise. If you choose not to I do it here. Certain sponsors I don't accept because they don't match the audience. You don't have a right to advertise on any network or anything, any sponsorship. You don't have a right. And so the FCC can quickly just say, or by virtue of the Health and Human Services say, nope, can't do it anymore. Cigarettes, those of you who may be too young don't remember, there were cigarette ads. There were people who, I'd rather fight than switch was Lucky Strike. I mean, it was very catchy. Tomcat, thank you very much. I love your show, Barry. Keep up the good work. One thing I haven't heard, though, I do hope Tripp investigates the health insurance company. It's legalized theft Well, see, now you're talking about, I guess, Obamacare, because we'd have to look into that and everything else. Let me see here. Make sure I don't miss anybody. Jess Flores, thank you very much. I like this one. John says, I am biracial. I am so sick of this race card hustling BS. The card is overplayed. It doesn't work anymore. Nope. And I can't wait for these people to slither away into the grass. Chris Oxendine, thank you very much. Mud Whistle. Waltz is hiding those kids. Oh, can you imagine saying that guy was qualified? Crazy. I am back. Now it's time for them to pay. Yes, Trumpinator. And this one is from Mudslide again. Oops, I did it again. I did it again. Thank you very much. Let me see. This is from Kelly Sagansky. Blinking says they will send every dollar to Kuwait. Yeah, I'm going to play that tonight. So at 7:30, I want you to hear what Anthony Blinken is doing and how they're rushing to give every one of your dollars to Ukraine. Trump is playing chess while they continue to play checkers. Thanks for your channel. Thank you, Hank. This is from FL. I loved the prayer meeting last night, and I am for a godly partner to help. I'm looking for a godly partner to help bring souls into the kingdom of heaven. Thanks, Darlene. Speaking of that, I had a wonderful interview that I taped this morning that I may do it next Thursday. It's when, I want to make sure I say his name right. John, hold on. How do you say John's name? I don't want to mispronounce his name. But it was amazing. John Anashwanku. I don't have my paper. I'm sorry, John, if you're watching. You don't want to miss that interview. It's coming up. Just another knucklehead. Thanks for the dedication and programming. Nice prayer meeting last night. It came in. Thank you. Thank you very much. We had over 200 people get saved. I was blown away. Thank you, Charlie. Wow. Mud Whistle. Damn, man. Thank you. I farted head. Oh, boy. You're too funny. Good gosh. Thank you very much. All right, guys, that's what I got for you at the 3 o'clock show. I'm sure there'll be a lot more information coming the rest of the day. So 7:30, I'll be going live and doing a recap of whatever happened during the day today. And don't forget, if you want to, go ahead and enter to win a red Trump hoodie. I'm sorry, I was looking at something. I wanted to make sure I didn't forget anybody. Yeah. Oh, I have two more I got to get to. All right, that's why. Okay, but go ahead and you can register to win. We'll be giving away a couple tonight. Last ones that came in were what's happening with Rudy Giuliani. I don't know. You see, I had something in the back of my mind. If Trump really wanted to give the middle finger to everybody, I thought he was going to be or have a chance to be the Attorney General. But what I'm seeing right now, and you guys might be noticing it too, I talked earlier about having the roadmap, the plan down the future. You guys notice that everyone other than RFK, everyone that Trump is nominating are young? I mean, he's setting these people up to be a bench, and this bench could be for decades. I mean, Kristi Noem, they're all younger people. Democrats never learned by that. They kept putting up all these old people over, as you know. But can you imagine? Unbelievable. Danny, Mary Lou Berry, you're the best info. Where did you find the two Jamaican singers? Are they Jamaican or Bahamian? I thought they were Bahamian. No, it was just a video on X that I saw. Say, hey, can I use this? Yes, man. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I was just going through and just saw them. I'm like, that is cool. That's cool. What about the 500 one? I recognize that was from Mike Patel. Mike Patel with a massive $500 super chat, which thank you very, very much. All right, see you guys at 7:30. Like I said, I'm sure there's going to be a lot more for us to talk about. Thanks for tuning in for the 3 o'clock one and staying till the end. I think it's 2 hours long, and we still got 12,000 people in here. So I want to thank you guys all for tuning in, and we'll just keep going. And with your help, maybe I'll make the list again tomorrow. Could be. Talk to you soon.